Us, I'm George. We're all George. Happy Tuesday, not Monday. Welcome to another market open stream. The market bell is about to ring, and today let's talk about what's going on with the U.S. market. Looking like it wants to open deep in the red. Let's talk about that, and also let's talk about what's going to happen in Hong Kong, which will bring in billions upon billions of dollars into Bitcoin and crypto. And also a little bit about everyone's favorite meme coin, SHIB. All right, let's get started. Welcome, guys. Hopefully you guys are doing good this morning. U.S. market is looking bleak right now. You could see Dow futures down about 333, NASDAQ down about 151. The market bell just rang, so this didn't update, but it could be a red day. And that's because in the U.S., a couple things going on. Plus, there's a lot of economic data. But this morning, we had two big giants already report their earnings, and both are okay, except their forecast was gloomy. Walmart, obviously, I don't need to mention who Walmart is. Oops, I didn't change my screen. You guys know who Walmart is. Well, their forecast is pretty bleak. Their earnings is actually good. They actually did well in Q4. No surprise, right? But they're saying, well, this week, not so good. I mean, not this week. This, for the remainder of this year, not so good. So Walmart selling off. Home Depot also missed a little bit on their earnings, but said that, it's I guess, it's catching up to us, right? Basically, inflation. They had a really good, I guess 2022 wasn't bad. I say really good because it was really good based on the macro conditions, but now it's starting to catch up to them, right? So they're saying that, this year, probably it's going to catch up to us more, meaning consumers are spending less at our stores, not fixing up their houses as much, So, but, here's the thing. This is what Wall Street wants to see sort of from our companies, okay, our public trade companies, because I've been focusing so much on economic data, right, and how everyone's focused on Powell, and everyone wants the economic data to come in weak, okay, softer. We don't want to have blowout quarters or blowout, data in regards to jobs or housing or sales or stuff like that. Actually, what we're looking for is softening, right? And then that'll make people, I guess, make people more comfortable with the fact that, okay, inflation is now slowing or will continue to slow, and Powell will be more dovish, right? So I mean, actually, like this isn't so bad if you think about it. But obviously, for the stocks themselves, it's bad. But you think about this is what Wall Street really wants to see, right? Softening of the U.S. economy. If both of these companies, say Walmart and Home Depot, issued guidance for this year saying, "Oh, it's going to be absolutely fantastic," we're going to have billions upon billions of people coming in, spending dollars, and we're all going to, make a lot of money. If they said that, I think that would actually spook the market even more. That's what people don't want to hear, or investors. When I say people, I mean Wall Street investors don't want to hear because everyone's so fearful of Powell right now. But yeah, so those things. Also, I saw this. Obviously, this is no good. No one wants to see this. President Biden just did a surprise visit. He was seen walking the streets in Kiev with President Zelensky. And then now Putin says, we're going to suspend our nuclear arms treaty with the U.S. Well, that's not good, right? So that probably has scared the market a little bit today. I don't know what that actually means. And that was a bold move by Biden. Like, just walking the streets, you don't know where those missiles are striking, right? So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. That war continues to to continue, and we're sending still more aid to Ukraine at this point, right? And it's a lot. It's a lot of money. It's adding up, right? Hopefully, we could find some kind of resolution, but right now it seems like it's just going to continue on. All right. Other than that, there's other economic news. Tomorrow we're going to get Fed minutes, based on what was said last meeting. I don't know if anything new is going to come out of it. There were a couple times Powell was pressed on something, and then he's like, you'll see it in a minutes, right? So the minutes may shed some light on some of the things that was discussed behind closed doors from last meeting, which, in my opinion, was a very dovish meeting. So we'll see. But with all that said, right, Bitcoin is still strong, very strong. You could see Bitcoin is still at 24.8, 24.7, 24.8. Yesterday topped out 25,000 a little bit once again, and then came back down. But still, we're holding really, really good, despite the fact that, yes, macro conditions like this week or like last week, right, we had some volatility, but Bitcoin is staying strong, very strong, because the fundamentals just support it. Okay, fundamentals of Bitcoin and everything else that's going on support it. But, yesterday I talked about China and how a lot of the Chinese-based crypto companies shot up, okay, because China is trying to improve themselves right now, trying to get them back in terms of their economy, their production, and everything, right? But now it seems like they're going to turn pro-crypto too, which I can't even imagine how much money is sitting in China right now waiting to be invested. So why are they turning pro-crypto? Well, Hong Kong has just come out with a proposal, basically. Their Securities and Futures Commission came out with a proposal for rules on trading virtual assets like crypto and allowing crypto exchanges to operate, okay? And it's not like the SEC here in the U.S. Gary Gensler basically wants to declare everything a security and shut everything down. But in Hong Kong, they are trying to do the opposite. They're trying to open things up. Their thinking is, we know people are trading crypto. We know people are holding on Bitcoin. Why not allow them to buy here rather than on foreign exchanges who are collecting all the money and basically making all the rules? Why not let our citizens participate in crypto buying and trading, right? And then we get to have more control over it. That's the thinking. So it sounds like, and obviously nothing gets done in China now. I mean, nothing gets done in Hong Kong now without China giving the nod, saying, okay, go for it. Or they would have shut this down a long time ago. So what it appears like, and I've been speculating this, right? In Hong Kong and Hong Kong's still a little bit different, but in China, you have strict rules on what citizens can invest in, right? Very, very strict rules. There's billions, maybe trillions of dollars sitting in China, and these investors don't know what to do with that money because there's a strict limit on how much foreign assets you could buy, how much foreign currency you could buy, right? That's why a lot of investors are forced to buy real estate in China. Some of you guys may have seen those ghost cities that operate. You have cities with all these new buildings, right? But no one living in them. It's because these guys don't know where to put their money. Now imagine now they're able to put the money into, say, crypto projects that thrive in China or just on exchanges where they're allowed to buy Bitcoin and others. I mean, it's going to be crazy in terms of how much money. I labeled billions of dollars, but I mean, it's way more than that. It could be in trillions. The money's just locked into China right now. It can't come out. And once China allows or Hong Kong allows an avenue out, especially into crypto, I mean, you're talking about injection of billions upon billions upon billions to trillions that's going to be coming in. I mean, I think it's absolutely huge. It's not set in stone yet. These are proposed laws. They basically want the public to comment, right? And most likely the public will say yes do it, right? And then they do it, then you're going to have more exchanges pop up in Hong Kong once again, and then you're going to have citizens being allowed to trade and buy Bitcoin and crypto. It's going to be absolutely huge. Absolutely huge, which is why yesterday I covered last night a lot of the crypto projects based in China like Conflux, ACH, Alchemy Pay, Neo, and there's others that all pumped up crazily because of this news and several other news that I reported yesterday. So really good, really good. But, you know, until then, I did mention Bitcoin is still very strong, doing its thing, right? And that is true. Michael Saylor likes to remind people that since he has invested in Bitcoin, it's been the winning strategy, okay? Because despite all the stuff that's been happening, Bitcoin has outperformed the S&P 500, NASDAQ, gold, bond, and silver, right? So Saylor's right. Saylor's right. When you expand your horizon, your timeline with Bitcoin, Bitcoin is always the winning strategy. Short term, if you focus on maybe a week, 6 months, a year, there'll be times where Bitcoin's down. But you focus on multi-year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, there is no strategy that's better than buying Bitcoin. Nothing is close. Nothing is close, which is why I still call it the best hedge against inflation. Now, not a lot of naysayers will say, no, what are you talking about? It's down like, 60% from its high, right? Yes, again, if you're looking at a narrow view, yes. But if you're looking at something long-term, something that's over the span of 5 years, 10 years, nothing has outperformed inflation better than Bitcoin. It went up millions of percent within the last 10 years. And it will continue to go up and continue to thrive as the world embraces Bitcoin. Here's one from Willy Woo. Willy Woo keeps his like indicators. He's a chartist, and he keeps his indicators like close to the chest. I don't actually know what this is measuring, but it does sound good and it does look good. Fundamental strength indicator. So this is going all the way back, whatever that bottom line is, going all the way back to 2020. We haven't seen it since January. That's probably March of 2020 when due to the COVID crash, right? But it does look like we have hit that bottom and we have flipped above, right? And that's the thing too. We're seeing a lot of similarities to previous bottom cycles, to previous cycles overall, and we are recovering just like 2019. There's just a lot of similarities between what we're going through right now and 2019, right? And are we ready to break above our current trend line and head higher to, say, $30,000 and possibly as high as $50,000 by June? Well, we're still on track. We're still on track. We're trending up little bit every day, every week. It's just a matter of time we shatter 25,000 and continue higher, right? And then here's interesting. A lot of people look at the volume, okay, of Bitcoin and where majority of the volume is and where they aren't. So it's interesting because right above, you might be thinking why we're not breaking above 25,000, right? Because there's a lot of bears that do not want us to go higher. Actually, if you look at a volume between like 25 and 28, that big magnet sign, right? There's actually no volume in there, which means that if we finally break out at 25,000, we will head to 28,000 basically in no time. We're going to jump that gap really fast because there's no one placing any trades there. And it's the same thing. If we can get above, say, 30, first of all, if you look at the volume around the 30,000 range, very little. And you can see a real big gap above 32,000 going all the way up to about 35,000. And there's another gap from about 36,000 to 38,000, right? And plus, let's not forget all the short squeezes that will happen as Bitcoin gets driven higher. So it could come really fast. This notion of getting to 40 or 50,000 may seem like crazy, like impossible, but it could come really fast because of these reasons. There's no volume at these levels. There's no shorters. There's no bears placing their shorts at these levels. It's basically empty, which means if we get an influx of money and push things higher, we're just going to start flying. And then a lot of shorters are going to get wrecked too. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. All right. And then the last few things I did want to mention, stacks. A lot of talk about recently about Bitcoin's NFTs, the ordinals, right? So that got people excited. So stacks, which is a project that helps dApp makers create dApps on top of Bitcoin utilizing smart contracts, they are soaring. They are soaring right now, and that kind of makes sense, right? A lot of people have referred to stacks, but how stacks works is I have to refresh my memory, but I do recall they use an Ethereum virtual machine. So yes, they are programmed top to work with Bitcoin and store transactions on Bitcoin, but I believe they use some kind of Ethereum virtual machine to process the smart contract. So it's not just on Bitcoin, but I have to refresh my memory on how that works after stream. But it does show that NFTs do draw in a lot of attention and people and money into the space, right? And one of the reasons I listed recently why Bitcoin will continue to head higher is because of innovations. And even though a lot of Bitcoin maxis hate the idea of NFTs and NFTs being stored on Bitcoin, well, there's no doubt it's going to bring a whole lot of money, a whole lot of newcomers into the space. And just like how Ethereum got driven up thousands of percent because of some of these innovations, Bitcoin will get that too. So I think overall it's a positive thing. Fetch AI, one of the leading AI projects, right, in the crypto space. They partner up with Bosch, and they're going to develop. They're creating a new foundation, and basically they're going to concentrate heavily into Web 3.0 AI technology. I mean, that's not a surprise. They're already in the AI space, so it seems like AI has cooled off a little bit recently, but I do think it's still going to be a big theme for 2023. It's weird for me to say 2023. I was going to say 2021. That's how fast time has moved. But I think we just begun in terms of exploring what ChatGPT can do and what other projects can do. And as they get hotter, projects in crypto that's related to AI will get hotter too. And then lastly, I know a lot of you guys are SHIB fans, so I got to talk about this. SHIB isn't doing so well today, but their other token, Bone, is doing very well. And that is because, and it hit top 100 on CMC for the first time, and that is because Shibarium is about to come out. It could be this week. It could be next week. It's been hyped up quite a lot. And the gas fee on Shibarium is Bone. It's not SHIB, it's Bone. So that's the reason why a lot of people are buying Bone. And whatever's collected, basically transaction fees, that's collected by the chain itself will be used to purchase SHIB and burn it. So overall, it's still going to help SHIB, right? But that burning process will take a long time to burn significant amount of SHIB. But Bone was very small, and I know people have said it before. People talked about it before, but it's really starting to gain traction. Bone has now hit top 100 and could head higher as Shibarium gets released, right? And gets used in the future. So I think that's pretty big. They have one other token, too, called Leash. I have no idea what Leash is going to be used for, but I always thought it's weird that SHIB has 3 tokens, right? But now they found a use case for Bone. I'm not quite sure what the use case for Leash is, though. So just FYI. All right, that is pretty much it. Let's see. U.S. market's still not looking good. NASDAQ recovered a little bit. Minus 1% rather than minus 1.5%. But overall, today's a red day based on some earnings. There will be more economic data that gets released this week, and we'll see how those go. All right, let's do some Q&A. Would NFTs on BTC increase hash computing power demand? No, not really. The way BTC works is the hash power demand The hash is basically how much miners are trying to solve that algorithm. So regardless, the NFTs can clog out the blocks. Okay, so that means there'll be a lot of congestion if there's a lot of transactions waiting to be confirmed. So there's that, and the miners are not making any more, even though there's congestion. So overall, I think a lot of Bitcoin maxis are worried about NFTs just clogging up the network and making it very slow. So, but it doesn't necessarily increase hash power. No. All right, scrolling up here. Let's see. Hey, Gary's in the chat. Gary's always lurking. Still scrolling. Someone says Shiba's dead. I don't think so. Learn charts. Yes, Miles. It wouldn't hurt you. What are the chances Matic becomes top 3 if SEC keeps continuing to attack BNB? I don't think that has anything to do with it. Even if you remove BNB off the board, doesn't mean that Polygon's just go jump to number 3. No. The two are non-exclusive. Can I buy crypto from Ledger? Some of them have huge fees and pointless transfer them from Binance to wallet. No, there's swaps. There's swaps that operate within Ledger Live. If that's what you're talking about. I mean, fees are fees. Okay, sometimes fees are high, sometimes they're not. I mean that's stating the obvious, but it is what it is. You just have to pay fees to make any kind of swap, to make any transactions. There will be fees. Right now, sometimes if you're swapping, the fees jump up crazily because there's not enough liquidities in the pools. So that's different, right? Like if you're trying to buy a large amount and your slippage is like 10%, yeah, you don't want to make that transaction. That's stupid, right? But if you're paying like 1% fees or something, or less than 1%, 0.05%, I mean that's normal. But I think what you're talking about is the slippage between the trading pairs because there's not enough liquidity from the swaps, right? That's a real thing, especially when you're trying to trade or swap smaller projects. The bigger ones, you normally don't have that problem. Please sure to put in on Mitsubishi Evos. Aren't they all dead? There's no more Evos. They were cool back in the day, but no one talks about them anymore. People not liking what's going on here. Well, I mean, they do like it, don't like it, because if U.S., due to Gary, continues to be very strict with rules and regulations, which will just basically drive out talent, like this says, drive out projects, drive out innovation to other countries, and say Hong Kong becomes very pro-crypto, I mean, it's go just make all the projects move overseas. That's not what you want, right? Gary right now just doesn't. I don't know. I don't see anything. I don't see anyone say anything good about Gary at this point. It's like, what's his master plan, right? Like what? I don't know. I don't know if there is one. I think he just like, attacking things as they come. But like, is there like a plan, a goal of his, right, to make it all come together? There doesn't seem to be one. That's the problem. Bullish on Coinbase earnings? I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day. Q4 was not so good for Bitcoin and crypto of 2022. It started coming up a little bit, but still wasn't that great. So I don't know if Coinbase is going to have a good earnings. It could be bad. It could be bad now that I think about it. But and I don't know if they're going to forecast good either because the market's still relatively weak. However, Wall Street may ignore all that because they're looking at how crypto is coming up and Bitcoin is getting stronger. So regardless of what Coinbase says, they're probably going to be stronger in 2023 than they were in 2022. I don't know. I think their Q4 will probably be pretty bad if I had to guess, which is no good for me. They're about even today. Actually surprising. I thought they would be dumpy right now. Will the influx of China liquidity cause inflation, which causes them to buy the dollar, which causes the DXY to go up, which causes BTC to go down? No, I don't think you have the order of things right there. I bet you Gary's buying BTC like crazy. I have no doubt in my mind that Gary holds a significant amount of Bitcoin. All these people that hold some kind of position within our government are all filthy rich. Like Gary Gensler, he was an MIT professor, right? And now he's an SEC chair. Yet he's worth over $100 million. How did he get that money? It makes you wonder, right? Like every single person elected or not elected or I don't know, just selected, I guess, because Gary was selected. Like, how does an MIT professor have $100 million in the bank? Like, it makes you wonder, right? And if he's really that good with money, there's no doubt that he has a ton of Bitcoin. He has a ton of Bitcoin. Maybe that's the reason why he wants to shut everything down, because he just wants to support Bitcoin because he has like $10 million worth of it. I don't know. I'm just making that up. But it's insane how much these guys are worth. How come you don't see any of these selected officials, like, just have a normal income or a normal net asset? I don't know what's the term. How much they're worth, I guess, is normal. Okay, normal, right? Like someone that's been working a 9-to-5 job, normal, not worth like $100 million or like $1 billion. How many billions of sheep do I have? Zero. I actually had some on Voyager and it was locked up, to be honest, but it wasn't billions. Have you ever considered light music to fill in the dead silence during your Q&A? I thought about playing music many times, but everyone's taste is different. That's the problem, right? So I don't know my music selection. A funny story is when I used to work in IT. I didn't. When I work, I always enjoy having music on. So I just turn on Pandora and just play whatever's playing, right? And then I'll go to meetings and stuff, and I'll just leave my music on all the time. And then I didn't know this until years later that my music just drove all my coworkers crazy. So much so that they finally complained to my boss, who then had to tell me, "Oh, don't play music anymore at your desk." But it took them like years before they did that. That was just funny. That's funny. At the time, I didn't appreciate it, but now that I think back, it's kind of funny and it makes sense. Um, what else going on here? Man, the U.S. market is getting really bad. Minus 431. I mean, whew. I did call yesterday and the day, over the weekend. I did call that this week was going to get volatile, right? Not only do you have a ton of earnings, Coinbase is reporting tomorrow. You have a ton of economic data, right? There's a lot of things happening this week. Um, but you know what? Coinbase is turning green. People are listening to what I'm saying. So that's good. I find that whenever a Coinbase suddenly turns, it's also a good indication what's going to happen to Bitcoin. So the fact that Coinbase is green right now and on a really, 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 really bad day, Bitcoin could be flipping in green soon. I'll leave this up for the sheep guys. No, Miles, not today. The problem is when I start playing music, it also sometimes screws up the sound and echoes and all that stuff. Blue Label Macallan, I can't stand Macallan to be honest because I like smoothness. I like blended whiskey like Blue Label. Macallan like 12. I haven't tried 18 though. Macallan's overall has that, I don't know what you call it. It's more bite to it, right? And I prefer the smoothness. So I like Blue Label better. Ryder, what do you think about DeFi Kingdoms? You know what? I wish them the best. I was bullish on them a while ago, then became bearish on them, but now I'm more bullish than bearish on them, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. They have applied to be on the next crypto gem, and if so, that'll be good. That'll be very good if they get accepted. But I know they're working on many things. They just opened up on Clayton. They're still on Avalanche, and they're working hard to establish and get past some of the previous controversy. But I do know a lot of people that really support them. So they have a really good community for sure. Do you remember your last day of your job? Yes. Yes. Where I worked at really sucked. It was a hyper growth physical therapy company. It was a mess. Um, the IT team was just an absolute mess, way too small. And, at the time, they were replacing people left and right. So my boss was like the VP of IT. He was replaced with someone. And then the CTO was replaced with someone. And, you had a whole bunch of stuff happen. And after all these new people came in, they had no idea who I was or the team. And we had a lot of issues, a lot of outages and stuff like that. It was just because our infrastructure was so bad and the company was growing way too fast. And they were not willing to give us enough help or get adequate people to support the infrastructure. So the very last day I knew the day I was gonna get fired because all of a sudden I got a email invite, um, and it was like some stupid thing, like let's catch up or something like that from the CTO. And I even brought my name tag with me. I put it in my folder, and then he's like, yeah, we gotta let you go, and blah blah. We gotta go in a new direction. And then I'm like, yeah, I kind of knew it. And then he's like, what? How did you know? I'm like, it's obvious. And I showed him, I took my name tag, and he was like all surprised about it. But anyways, never looked back since then. And I was keeping I was keeping in contact with one of my employees, one of my coworkers. This was years ago though. It's been so long, but yeah, eventually everyone got fired and they started over. They brought a new team, and basically now it's much better. But it was a very bad situation for many years, many years. Phil, should I be buying more sheep? What's up in the bone business? You're gonna have to rewind, Phil. You're gonna have to rewind, and I can't tell you what to do. Gold reserve is just as good. It costs $70. I never heard of gold reserve. I have to look that up. Yeah, I was a system engineer. Actually, I got my last position. I was a system architect. So, but I'm more familiar with systems and networks. I never heard of gold reserve. I'll take a look at it. Why can't we get over 25K? Because of this. Because there's not a whole lot of volume after 25K, so the bears are making a stand here. Um, Basically, if they lose and we break above, we will be jumping to basically 28,000, 29,000, 30,000, like almost instantly. And they don't want that to happen. But they may not have a choice. Most likely they won't have a choice because there will be more and more buying, and we will be driven upwards. There will be a lot more short squeezes coming. Right now, I don't see why anyone would dare to short Bitcoin. It's just, if you want to lose money and lose money fast, that's what you would do. Try to short Bitcoin. It's just, it's, it's just not something one should do. Hey George, any tips on making a leap of faith into something? Whatever. Just know this: no one successful that you see got there by accident. Okay, it doesn't matter what what field. You know, if you use YouTube, for example, or you could look at athletes or musicians, anyone, artists, anyone, marketers, salespeople. No one got there by accident. It all took years and years and years of crafting the craft, basically, and it's going to take time. That's just how it is. And you just have to keep improving, right? You have to keep learning and improving. And if you don't, you're going to be left behind and you never become successful at what you want to do. So it's really the same thing. With investing, it's also the same thing. But with whatever you want to tackle, if you want to start a new business, you want to get into something new, right? You can't just expect that you're going to be great very fast and that's it. That's just not how it works. Even people that talk about passive income, you may have seen a lot of videos about drop shippers or people that have operate a Shopify store or whoever, right? Oh, whoever's like telling you all this, like, hey, look, I make $100,000 a month by simply doing affiliate marketing or drop shipping or whatever, right? There's a lot behind the scenes that they don't tell you about, and a lot of years to get to where they are now, honing the craft and learning what to do, right? So yeah, that's my advice. Is just you have to really want it, and you have to have patience, and then you have to keep getting better at it if you want to be like toward the top or the best. ICP back to 600 by 2024. No clues. I don't like ICP, so I can't make that kind of prediction. A lot of people saying DXY is going up. I mean, it went up 0.35% today, so I don't know about it jumping up. But it is higher. It has been going higher, right? It has been going higher. We were as low as 101, back to 104, which is no good. But still, we're far off from 114, 115, our previous high. If she hits 1 cent, I will buy the earth and give it to Kanye. Okay. All right, I'll let you guys go, guys. Overall today, starting out weak, starting out in the red. U.S. market not looking good. Couple bad earnings, or bad forecasts, I should say, right? But Bitcoin will not be deterred. Fundamental, great. Growing adoption. What's coming out of Hong Kong and China is absolutely huge for Bitcoin and crypto in the future, but not so good for U.S. if Gary continues his ways of trying to ban everything. But I do think there will be a lot coming into the space after Hong Kong opens up crypto trading. It's going to be absolutely huge. And some news about sheep. So smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye. Danny, appreciate it.